Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Fantasy Sports. So today, we want to talk some football. So for my league, you have to make your waiver claims by Tuesday night. So I just want to go over a little bit. Let me fix the screen here. Go over a little bit who I would suggest for waivers. Go over one person per position, and just kind of move forward from there. So as far as quarterbacks go, I would recommend taking a risk on Taysom Hill. It looks like he's going to be starting in New Orleans. He just signed a contract that's a little weird. Basically, he gets rewarded for playing quarterback, which is kind of like what he signed for. But the more snaps I think he takes as quarterback, the more money he has the potential to make. So I don't know when that goes into effect, but I would definitely recommend Taysom Hill, especially if you're maybe on a bye week or something like that. Take a look at Taysom and see if he can get you some fantasy points this week. As far as wide receiver goes, if he's available in your league, Kendrick Bourne had a good game. I have him on my team. I didn't start him, although I should have started him over Mike Evans, which was kind of unexpected. Leonard Fournette went crazy and scored 4 touchdowns. And last week, Mike Evans in week 12, he had like 2 looks, I think. Let me find it here. Mike Evans, he had 5 targets, 3 receptions for 16 yards. So not an impressive performance. Kendrick Bourne had 6 targets for 5 receptions, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So 1 touchdown was close to the end zone. The other one he had to really work for, but he made it. So Kendrick Bourne, he's the guy in New England getting a lot of targets. He has a lot of touchdown potential. So I would definitely say go for him if he's available. The other person I'd recommend at receiver, Valdez-Scantling, he still had 9 targets, which is great. 4 receptions for 50 yards. I think he's worth a look, especially in the league here. So you can see here I have a waiver claim in for Alexander Mattison. Running back is really where a lot of the riches will be on your waivers this week. So for me, I feel like Alexander Mattison for the next few weeks, probably 2 weeks when Dalvin Cook is out, he's really worth pursuing, because when Dalvin Cook was out, you can see here in week 3, he had 26 attempts for 112 yards and no touchdown. And then he had 25 rushing yards for 113 yards. So he scored 23 points, 25 points. So he's solidly locked in to be a RB1 whenever Dalvin Cook is out. And Dalvin Cook's definitely going to be out for 2 weeks. It might be longer. Depending on it. So I would, as much as you want, spend a lot of money on your waiver bid. I have 59 available, and I'm spending 41 on my waiver. So you can kind of see here if you have Fab, the free agent thing, you can check where you're at with the rest of your league. There's a couple people with 100, so I can't do anything about them. But I do have available to me 59. So if I wanted, I could put a bid at 56 and be guaranteed to get them. Unless one of the hundreds drop their waiver claims. But I'm thinking 41 is good. Probably this guy and this guy, I'm assuming, are not going to put in a waiver claim for him. But you know what? I might actually bump it up anyway, because what else am I going to spend my waivers on, right? 56. I'll do it right now. Save bid. That way I'm guaranteed to pretty much get him unless one of the other guys outbids me. And the nice thing is I'll just slide him into my spot where Damian Harris is, and I'm going to drop Valdez-Scantling because that way I'll have Jeff Wilson as a backup, I'll have Bourne and Antonio Brown as a backup if I need them. I should be pretty good on my receivers. All right, so that's what I'm recommending. Tight end is kind of a thin position. Who I'd recommend on tight end, just taking a look at it here. Trade deadline's over, so you can't really get a good tight end, but let's see who's projected to score well. Foster Moreau, he had a touchdown last week, but he didn't really get many targets. Jared Cook is solid. Evan Ingram, they're still pretty heavily owned. I'll check rostered here. Jared Cook, Evan Ingram are pretty good. Yeah, there's not a lot of options, to be honest. Troutman, Cameron Brate sometimes will get a few targets. All right, if you want to look at projected points, you can always do that. Hopefully you don't have a tight end on a bye. Gerald Everett, he's a decent guy too. He got 12 points because he scored a touchdown. But really, if you don't have tight ends locked down already, you're just kind of throwing a Hail Mary, so to speak, to get one. So I would recommend that. Minnesota defense has a lot of ads this week. They're playing, I think, the Lions or Atlanta. I'll have to check that. Let's check defenses. I don't want to give you misinformation here. Minnesota is playing Detroit. Indianapolis is playing Houston, so they haven't been doing great on their scoring either. So I'd recommend one of those two. And then kickers, pick whoever you want for kickers. Kickers aren't that super important. Sorry, kickers. All right, so those are our Week 13 waiver wire ads. If your league already has done waiver wires, then you might be a little behind the game, but I'd take a look at them. I also talked last week, Week 12, about adding the Tennessee running backs if you can, and they had some pretty good games, so I think they're on a bye this week, so you might want to wait a week to add those, but if you can get them early, that's always a good way to do it too. So that's it. Good luck on the next week, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.